What's up, guys? It's Misha with Winning Designs, and you guys have been asking for this. You've been asking how to do my niche with the miter edges here. So basically our niche here, as you can see, we have our grout line that goes across the entire shower, and it miters right into the shower. So that took a little bit of planning. If you guys do want to see how that was planned out and whatnot, hit one of these videos here. Yep. And that will show you how to frame out your niche itself. Other than that, here's basically what we're working with. Anytime I'm making a miter, I need to have at least 5/8 of an inch in order for me to make that return. So come this way. So if this is my wall, I'm going to come 5/8 off of that wall, make my mark. I'm going to make 5/8 mark here. And then same thing on this side. And then I'm going to measure it off of my wall here. So I'm measuring here. I have 15 5/8. So I made that number there. Wrote that number down there. Then over here we have 51 3/8. Write that number up there. And then off of our bottom piece of tile, we have 15 7/8. And that's the mark that I have up here. So now all we have to do is put up our two pieces of tile. We have one piece already cut. Let me grab it. And then we'll be able to mark those numbers and then basically, watch me. Hold on. So we got this piece here. It's a big boy. We're going to put this right up here. I'm going to line up the bottoms to make sure that we're legit. Right there. And we're basically just dry fitting it. I'm going to put this in here so it doesn't fall out. I'm not tightening this too much at the moment, just kind of holding it so I don't have to. And then I'm going to move this over to about there. So now we have a nice grout line on this side. You want to make sure that anytime you have a grout line on inside here, that there is room for your caulking to get into, because when you're caulking those corners with your grout caulk, you want to make sure that you're filling that in, and then there's also that your bead is on the outside. So now we have this piece of tile. We're going to go measure this guy. I have my Schluter strip on this side set level or plumb, whatever. I have it set plumb, and that's where it's going to be. And then now I can make my measurement, and we have 38 5/8. So 38 5/8. So 38 5/8. All right, I'm gonna go grab that, cut that, grab it, and we'll come back here, and then we'll mark this out. The setup is the hardest part about the whole thing. Everything else is everything else. All right. So I'll be right back. We're back. We have our piece of tile, and now we're going to try to dry fit it in here to make sure we didn't goof up. Adrian! Here we go. Look at that! Come on. Can I get a couple wedges out of the bucket, Alex? So that freaking on point. As all the kids say, it's fire. Oh, man. Too much time. All right, so that's our pieces. And at this point, you ask the customer if they still want to have the niche or not. All right, so now let me get one more clip. Stay. You get one more clip to kind of hold these guys together. But it came out pretty nice right there. So now we can start marking out our niche itself, right? Because we have these measurements, these Illuminati numbers. So off of this wall, 15 5/8. 15 5/8. I'm going to put a mark. And then this number is 51 3/8. So 51 3/8. Okay, and then off of the bottom piece of tile here, it's 15 7/8. 15 7/8. And for this bad boy, I'm gonna throw a laser on there. One, because it looks super cool, and two is because we'll have a super straight line all the way across. And then we don't have to mess around with...
Out there in front of the closet.
Okay, so we got our laser here. Literally, if you don't have a laser, it's okay. Because you can just use a level. Level works. This is basically a level line. And you would just measure this distance here on this side and connect the dots. But we have a laser, so we gotta show it. Because then I don't feel bad about buying it for no reason and then not ever having to use it. Bang, laser purpose has been served. Now we can just use a level and connect the dots. And then once we, I'm gonna use a level on this guy as well. Let me, level! Mufasa! Here we go. So, we have, this clip is in the way. I'll just get rid of it and I'll use a new one later. Sorry, clip. So then on this side, I'll show you this side. I won't show you the other side because it's basically the exact same thing that we're doing on the other side. And because you're using a Stabila level, you can't blame anybody else except yourself and not being able to read the two lines in the bubble inside. So we're going to come here. Screwed. Bang. That's our line. That's what. So this line is literally my blade because my blade is as thick as my Sharpie. All right. So then I'm gonna connect these dots. I'm gonna make this line as well. We're gonna go over and then cut it out, and gotta be super gentle with it so we don't destroy this corner as we're cutting it out. But then once we do that, you know what? I'll see you there in a second. All right, so we got our lines drawn. Just want to make sure you guys follow exactly what I'm saying. So testing our laser here as well to make sure laser is laser. But we have our side pieces, and these lines again are the lines that we measured because it's sticking out 5/8 past our little walls that we have and past our top little ceiling. So now we're just gonna bring this over to the table and cut it. But we do dry fit it because if you try to do math and all that stuff, and 1/16 of an inch, even little lip here that's 1/16 of an inch off, it just looks unprofessional and unthought of. But if we do it this way, now it's the same line that we can just cut through and be done. So now we're gonna go cut it. We'll bring this, we'll cut it, we'll miter it, do all that other stuff, and I'll show you guys basically dry pieces, what it looks like as we're putting them in. Okay, so let's do that. Welcome back. So we have our pieces of tile cut. Came out fine, we didn't break anything, so that's a win. So now we have this piece of tile, right, left over. So I have two options. I can either return that same piece of tile this way, or return this piece of tile this way, right? But if you're walking in through the door, you're not gonna see the top, right? So we're not gonna do that. We're gonna do the sides, because you have this cool vein that's gonna come here and turn in. On this side, same thing. You're gonna have this cool vein that just turns in because the top, you don't see it. We're going to, this is this full piece on its own, so we don't have a scrap piece that matches it. But you see how this right here is all white, where on this side it's kind of darker veins. So I'm going to look through my scrap pile and we're going to find one that kind of matches this a little bit. It won't be perfect, but at least darker with darker. Where here it'll be a little bit lighter, maybe into darker. So there's a little bit of artists, you know, like you try to imagine what it would look like. You don't just put anything in there that you want, because that's not how it works. All right, we have all these miters done as well here, so I'm pumped about that. So that's next. So we're gonna go and we're gonna find some of these pieces. Now that I have this dry fitted, I can measure the depth of my return here. For instance, kind of at the bottom, because that's what it's gonna be like with the thin set. Perfectly, it's 6 1/8, but I need to give myself a little bit of wiggle room, and that's why I'm going to tile the walls and the bottom and the top first. So then when I put my back tile, it's going to kind of do this business here where it overlaps. So when the water hits my hand here, comes out that way. You know what I'm saying? Versus getting the back done and then doing this way, because now the water hits that, there's a grout line here for your water to go in there. Because then the water will get kind of trapped under there, and it's got to fight its way this way, and then down that way. It's a longer process, all right? Cut the pieces, we'll be right back. All right, guys, so we have our pieces all dry cut. These are my bottom pieces, those are my top pieces, and those are my 2 side pieces. So let me show you exactly what I mean with these side pieces. Where do you belong? Here. Look how beautiful that's going to look! Dang! That's pretty sick. All right, but look how cool this came out. So Alex and I kind of searched through some of our scraps. We found this piece kind of had some of the darker and then lighter. So we found a little bit of darker stuff here, and this almost matches perfectly. And then, you know, we have a darker image here. But this side, it's all white. So we had to find something white, but then at the same time, I didn't want to have just a straight white next to a darker one. So we found a little bit of like some of this veining. See, this almost looks like it belongs together. So super lucky with that, but we did have to search through it. We kind of cut this out of a bigger piece to make that look right. So that's basically it. I'm going to insert a TikTok in here. Basically time lapse of me just putting the pieces together, but it's literally just putting the thin set in and then it's done. So it's just a beautiful, beautiful finish on this. You're not walking on this, you're not storing hammers here, anything like that. This will last you forever, these miter edges like this. Shampoo, all that kind of stuff will never damage that, I guarantee that. What's up, guys? So we're back at our niche, and now what we're doing is the back of our niche. So really, we have these glass petals, mosaic, that we're going to be putting in here. The reason I do my sides first, so then that kind of covers these cut marks, and it's going to look legit. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to need a measurement. It looks like 35 3/8. I'm going to write that down. Mark 35 3/8. This way, we're at 15 and a half. 15 and a half. Hey, we did a good job. So, bang, 15 and a half. All right. Now, we're going to go this way. So we're going to go over to here. And we laid out our glass petals, mosaic. So now we just have to transfer those numbers over to here. Center it, figure out where we want it. For me, let me get a straight edge. So for me, let's say you have to figure out a good spot to cut it where it's still the biggest piece, you know? So I'm probably gonna cut the top of these off. It's very irregular. So if I have the top here of this guy, and then the top here of this guy, I'm going to then kind of make my mark this way, measure it, and cut it. So I'm going to sketch this out, and then I'll show you what it looks like before I cut it, right? All right, guys, so check out how cool our layout actually turned out over here. So we want to make sure when we're measuring that these sides are somewhat even. You know, if I was to cut it here and then come over to this side, I would have been in the middle, then it looks off balance. So you just want to balance it on both sides. And we got super lucky because I basically want to make sure that I'm not cutting a little piece off, or, you know, have to deal with that. So here I'm basically cutting it on this line. So we have a big piece, big piece, big piece. And then on the same, on this, on the top, same thing. So we don't have any little slivers. Super, super lucky. So now we're gonna go ahead and cut that on our saw. Alex is mixing the thin set, nice and pasty almost. You want to be like old peanut butter. That's what you want that to look like. And then we're gonna go ahead and install it. So look out for that. Alright, so with our thin set, we want it to be very pasty. I'm telling you, when you're doing your mosaic tiles, this way they don't droop. And that's kind of how you do subway tiles if you want to start at the top. It's different consistency than it would be for your shower floor or your bathroom floor, whatever. But you want to be able to put it like this, bang, 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 and it doesn't go anywhere. All right, you see, it doesn't droop. So, okay, I'm gonna insert my Tic Tac on how we installed it. So I'll see you soon. Looks awesome. So we got our miters, got this glass pedals back here. This looks really, really beautiful. So we have our shower. Let me turn this off. We have our shower light here. We'll be able to kind of turn up the volume a little bit on the light itself. But I'm proud of it. I think Alex and I kicked butt on this one. Really like how the veins come in here. It's just a clean, modern look. And this does break it up a little bit. It doesn't seem so cavey, I guess. It's gonna look really, really cool once we actually grout it. So, if you enjoyed this video, you wanna learn more stuff about this stuff, then definitely subscribe, hit the bell, and we'll see you in the next one.